We'll move on to item number 7, social host ordinance, presentation by Chief Rob Landon.
Good evening, Mayor, Council members. I'm presenting to you again for the second time the social host regulations ordinance for underage drinking. So I'll make this much abbreviated. I know that Councilman Cleveland wasn't here last week or 2 weeks ago. The purpose of this is to establish a duty by ordinance of persons having control over any premises who knowingly hosts, permits, or allows a gathering at a premise to take reasonable steps to prevent the service and consumption of alcoholic beverages by minors. And whereas laws prohibiting furnishing alcohol beverages to underage persons target furnishing alcoholic beverages to underage persons, social host accountability refers to laws that hold non-commercial individual responsible for underage drinking on properties they own, lease, or control. Many people dismiss underage drinking as a normal rite of passage in adolescence. However, it's important to remember that alcohol is one of the most important contributors to death, injury, and criminal behavior among youth. And one common way that underage drinkers gain access to alcohol is at parties. These parties are commonly large gatherings of young people in a home, in an outdoor venue, or some other area. These parties can be particularly problematic because of the number of drinkers involved and the large quantities of alcohol consumed. Reports of alcoholic poisonings, traffic crashes, property damage, community disturbances, violence, and sexual assaults are all too common as a result of these parties. And I'll just touch briefly on some surveys that the local Substance Abuse Steering Coalition, who's represented here today by Nina, and Dolia was here earlier, and some of the local people. But they did a lot of work put for the social host ordinance gathering the information. Results of the 2013 California Healthy Kids Survey show that 17% of 11th graders report being drunk or sick after drinking. And 21% of 9th grade and 28% of 11th grade students in Yuba City report having at least one drink in the last 30 days. Residents of Yuba City reported that 56% had been given alcohol as minors, and 95% believe it is important to have laws protecting minors from alcohol use. Easy youth access to alcohol is supported by anecdotal reports from young persons. In recent focus groups, youth reported that they often got alcohol from their own homes or at the residences of their friends. 22% of high school seniors report binge drinking on a regular basis. So the purpose here, this is more of a proactive than a reactive approach to handling this problem of youth alcohol and parties at large areas that are not controlled by a responsible adult. The purpose and intent of this ordinance is to facilitate the enforcement of laws which prohibit the service and consumption of alcoholic beverages by minors, as well as to deter the service and consumption of alcoholic beverages by minors and promote the reduction of underage drinking. To establish a duty of persons having control over any premises who knowingly hosts, permits, or allows a gathering at the premises to take reasonable steps to prevent the service and consumption of alcoholic beverages by minors. To protect health, safety, general welfare, and quiet enjoyment of property and properties neighboring the location of gatherings at which minors are served and consume alcoholic beverages, and to impose civil liability for the recovery of emergency response costs to such gatherings. At the last meeting, I think Councilman Buckland made a comment about, are we being too lenient with charging the first offenses as an infraction and the subsequent ones as misdemeanors? We had actually talked with Wake Forest, and they said that the more common approach is actually to do administrative citations. So we actually went above that, starting with an infraction, because we didn't want to be as lenient. And we wanted to make sure that people understood that this community wasn't going to tolerate this. So the first one is a infraction. Second and subsequent offenses are guilty of, or could be guilty of, a misdemeanor, and civil fines that include the cost of emergency services. The fiscal impact is no costs associated with the implementation of the proposed ordinance. Alternative is not to adopt the ordinance, provide staff with direction for adopting the proposed ordinance. And the recommendation of staff is to adopt an ordinance, providing the regulations concerning underage drinking, waiving the second reading. And with that, I'll open it up for questions in the public hearing.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions of Chief at this time?
No question.
Open up the public hearing and invite anyone from the public who wish to speak on this item. Seeing none, close the public hearing, bring it back to the council for comments or a motion.
I don't have any comments, but I'll go ahead and move to approve the recommendation for this ordinance.
And I'll second that.
I have some comments here.
All right.
Not just because of not being here last time, but thank you, Dulia, for not giving up, ladies, and the team. 2007, we basically started to work on something like this at the county, and due to trying to find the proper design of a viable social host regulating ordinance, it was difficult at best. It was new. Everybody was trying to figure out who's going to enforce, what are the repercussions legally, how's that all going to come out and wash out. But I thank you for not stopping and continually moving forward to get this done. And I want to thank, I don't even remember, I was at the meeting where you guys kind of discussed a little bit this. I was invited a couple of months ago, but what was the name of the group that was there helping you? Okay, that's who I thought it was, but I want you to again reiterate thanks to them for bringing forward something that is working in other communities, so that we can actually be leaders in our community in this. And again, thank you for not stopping and keeping the pressure on, and appreciate that.
All right, thank you for your comments. So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Unanimous.
Thank you.